I'm going to start by sitting on my mat, but if you want to start seated in a chair, you can do that too. For today, and I sent out an email earlier, I don't know if you all saw it, but for today's practice, if you could have just like a towel or like a blanket, or you can even use like a book or something like that. Part of our practice today, I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to lie on our backs. And I want you to put that item on your belly. So you want something that has a little bit of weight to it, but you don't want it like real heavy, but you don't want it real light either. So to start our practice though, in this class, we always do our immune boosting exercise first before we go into our restorative. And we'll do that first. And then we're going to do a little breath exercise. I'm going to talk about the breath a little bit. And then we'll go into our restorative practice for today. All right. So let's do our immune boosting. So let's start with one leg. We always start with the ankle and we work up to the knee. And we first do our massaging. So we'll do that first. Remember, this is to loosen up the lymph, help support the lymphatic system. And then next we do this swiping or wiping motion. We always go up towards the heart. So we only go one way. And then we do the tapping. So remembering that the immune system is a one-way system and it doesn't have any type of pump or anything to move the lymph up your body and through the lymph glands. So these movements that we're doing helps to support the whole lymphatic system. All right, so let's do the other leg. And we're just doing right now ankle to knee. And we start again with that massaging. And then we do that swiping motion. And then we do the tapping. So there's different areas in our body that have a lot of the lymph nodes, and one of those areas is behind the knees. So the next thing we do is we do a gentle massage in the back of the knees. And again, your lymph nodes, they're like little garbage collectors. They collect all the pathogens and viruses and bacteria and then destroy it. All right, so after that, we then work from the knee to the hip. So we start with our massaging. And then we do our wiping or swiping motion. And then we do our tapping. Okay, let's do the other leg. If you have long pants on, I like holding my pant leg down. That way when I do the swiping, my pants don't come up. All right, so first, little trick there. Massage first. And then do your wiping or that swiping motion. And then do our tapping. All right, next we move on to the abdominal area and we tap. So tap the lower, middle, and upper abdominal area. The sides go to the lower back, into maybe the kidneys. Just do the best you can. It's a light tapping. Again, we have a lot of lymph nodes in the groin and up into the abdominal area. All right, next is the arm. So we start with the wrist and we work up to the shoulder. So start with that massaging, just like we did with our legs. And again, if you've got long sleeves on, I just hold my sleeve here. That way the material doesn't move up my arm. Okay, and then swiping. We're supporting the lymphatic system and moving that lymph up in towards the heart. And then we tap. Again, always go up. All right, let's do the other arm. Do our massaging first. This is very gentle. And then do the wiping or that swiping motion. And then the tapping. All right, next we've got a lot of lymph nodes underneath the arms. So we do underneath the arms into the armpit area next. Nice little massage here. And then the other side. Remember too, if you start on your left side, then when you work up your body, always do the left side first and the right side second. If you want to start with your right side, you can do that first. Then just remember to always move first on the right side and then second on the left. All right, next we do underneath the chin and behind the ears, into the neck and into the upper shoulder area. So you can do some massaging here. You can also do like this wiping or swiping motion. Always feels so good to do that little bit of massaging in the upper shoulders, upper neck area. And again, you've got a lot of lymph nodes behind the ears and under the chin. All right, and then last we do a little bit of tapping in the heart center, chest area. You have your thymus gland, sits right in the middle here, and you're activating, stimulating that a little bit, which is part of your lymphatic system. All right, okay, so that was our immune system practice for today. So grab whatever it is. We're going to do this little bit of breath exercise next. So whatever you want to use, a blanket, a pillow will work, a yoga block, just something. And what I want you to do is lie on your back. You can bring your feet out, almost like Shavasana here. And you can set that object kind of the lower to middle area of the belly. And then just bring the hands where they feel comfortable. If you want to roll the shoulders back and down and bring the palms facing up, you can do that. If that doesn't work for you, you can have the palms facing down. So you just want to relax here. And go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to take a few breaths in and out here. So take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And then I want you to open the mouth and exhale. And allow yourself to just sink down into your mat. And we're going to do that a couple more times. This is just a little relaxation exercise here before we get started. So nice deep full breath in. And then exhale with a sigh. And then do a nice little body scan here. Start with your toes, your feet, your ankles, and work up your body. And if there's any area that you're feeling just a little bit of tension or stress, see if you can maybe just move a little bit and see if you can release some of that tension so that you're nice and comfortable. So you're moving up the body into the hips, lower back, the middle back, the upper back. Feel the whole back side of your body touching your mat. And relax the neck, your head, your face. If you feel comfortable closing the eyes, you can go ahead and close your eyes. You don't really need to be watching me. All right, now I want you to bring your attention to your stomach. And I don't want you to control the breath at all. I just want you to pretend like you're sleeping, right? And when we sleep, we're obviously not focusing on our breath. We just breathe. Our body just breathes. So what I want you to do now is just totally relax your entire body and start to breathe without controlling the breath. And focus on your belly. And I want you to watch your belly, because your belly is going to move a little bit as you breathe. It's going to probably move up and back down. And I want you to focus in on that and watch your stomach as you breathe. Now, as you're watching your stomach, when you breathe in this next time, ask yourself and become aware, is your stomach rising on the inhalation? Is it moving up towards the ceiling? Or is it moving down away from you towards the spine? So just notice with each inhalation, what's the stomach doing? Does it move out or does it move in? And then do the same thing. Become aware not only of your breath, but become aware of the exhalation. And following your belly or your stomach, what does your stomach or belly do on the exhalation? Does it move back towards the spine or does it come out up towards the ceiling? Watch the belly move. You're not controlling anything. You're not controlling your belly moving in and out. You're just allowing your body to breathe naturally, as if you were sleeping. So don't try to push the stomach out or in. Simply your natural breath. So now you're aware of both the inhalation and the exhalation. And again, simply notice when you breathe in, is your belly moving in or out? And when you exhale, when you breathe out, is your belly moving in or out? We all have a certain way of breathing when we're relaxed. So just take note of that. All right, we're going to do one more thing. Now that you're nice and relaxed, and again, you can keep your eyes closed. There's really no reason to have your eyes open. So as long as you feel comfortable, you feel safe and secure, you can keep your eyes closed. The next thing we're going to do is, again, I want you to be very much aware of your breath, but I don't want you to control the breath at all. I just want you to simply allow your body to breathe. And what you're going to do is you're going to count how many breaths you do in a certain period of time. Okay? So I'm going to say go, and you're going to start counting. And each time you breathe in, you're going to start with 1, of course, and you're going to move up from there. So every time you breathe in, 1, breathe out. Breathe in, that'll be 2, breathe out. So on and so forth. And you're just going to go, again, with your own natural breath. Don't try to control it. Don't try to slow it down or speed it up. Nothing like that. So get ready. And again, you can close your eyes here. Maybe exhale completely. And then go. Start. And just each time you breathe in, you're counting up from 1. Relax your body. Allow your body to breathe naturally. Keep counting. Don't forget to count. All right, and stop. So you're going to all have a number. Everybody's number is probably going to be a little bit different. For right now, you don't have to share that number. I'm not going to ask you to share. But if you could, just try to remember that number, because at the end of our practice, we're going to do that same little exercise. So a couple of things to remember. When you breathe in, and we're going to continue this throughout our restorative practice for today. As you breathe in, notice your breath and notice how your belly is moving. Is it moving in when you breathe in, or is it moving out when you breathe in? And vice versa. And also try to remember that number that we just got from this exercise. So try to remember that number. And then at the end, we're going to do the same thing. So with that, you can take the item off your belly if you want, or if you want to leave it on, so that when you have something like an item like that on your belly, it does, for me anyway, I am much more aware of my breath, and it actually allows me to stay a little bit more focused. So if you want these first couple of poses that we do, if you want to leave the item on, that's fine, because from here, what you're going to do is keep, probably both of your legs are down. So you're just going to bend your right knee, and then you're going to bring that out to the side. So what we call a recline tree here. And remember too, you can use a block or a pillow or something. I know for me, my right hip is always a little tight, and I always need a little something to support that. So we go into our recline tree. Our right knee is bent. And let's all go ahead and take a nice deep full breath in, and then exhale with a sigh as you move into this. And again, you can keep your eyes closed and notice your breath. And we're going to be in our recline tree for about 3 minutes. Remember, our restorative practice, we are practicing how to relax. This is all about relaxation. So there should be no pain. You don't want to be fighting against your body. So find a posture within this so that your leg can be supported and you're not feeling any pain. You can feel a little bit of a stretch, but you don't want to feel any pain. And remembering too, as we hold these poses, think of these almost like little mini meditations, right? It's only 3 minutes. And focus on your breath. And if you start to get a thought or something starts wandering, your mind starts wandering, and you start thinking about other things, you can go back to your breath. Or remember, we have our mantras that we can use to hold our attention, keep us focused. So one of my favorite mantras is, I am healthy and strong. So if you want, you can use that mantra, or if you have another favorite that also can help to hold you, focus the mind. I am healthy and strong. And again, focus on your breath. Notice your belly moving. And try not to control or force anything physically. Just watching the breath. We're going to go about 1 more minute, then we'll switch sides. Doing great. Relaxing. All right, go ahead as you inhale, start to bring that knee up through center on the right side. And then bring your left foot to the mat as well. So now both knees are bent, and then extend the right leg out, relax the leg, and then keep the left knee bent, and then you're going to bring that out to the side. So we're doing our reclined tree on our left side. And then go ahead and take a nice deep full breath in. Open the mouth and exhale with a sigh. Again, you should feel no tension. You want to feel a little bit of a stretch in the inside of that left leg, maybe into the hip. But you also want to feel supported. And we'll, of course, be on this side for 3 minutes. Focus on your breath. What's that belly doing? Be aware of that. One of the things you can also do is each time you breathe in, you can say, I'm breathing in. Or just say the word in. And each time you exhale, you can say, I am breathing out. Or you could just say the word out. You got to keep your attention focused in on your breath. A little mini meditation. Allow the body to reset, relax, restore, refresh. As soon as you become aware that the mind has wandered off, simply go back to your breath. All right, go ahead and inhale and bring that left knee back up through center. Bring both feet to the mat. If you still have something on your belly, go ahead and take that off. And then bring your feet out so that they're about the same width as your hips here. And then we'll do a few windshield wipers. Just move very gently from side to side. Remembering that we keep our shoulders on the mat. The knees do not have to touch the floor as you come down to each side. We're going to slow this down a little bit. So bring your knees up through center. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, bring the knees down to the right. And take one full breath with your knees down on the right. Now as you inhale, bring the knees up through center. And as you exhale, bring the knees down to the left. And now take one full breath in and out. On your next breath in, bring the knees up through center. As you exhale, bring the knees down to the right. You're going to keep doing this, alternating from side to side. When you come down to each side, you're going to take one full breath in. And each time you inhale, after taking that full breath in on the side, as you inhale, bring your knees up through center. And then as you exhale, bring the knees down to the opposite side. So just do a few of those. We'll do that for about maybe 40 seconds or so. A little bit more than a half a minute. Just, again, take your time. This is really good for a little bit of a mild twist in the thoracic area of the spine, which is the middle part of your spine, as well as moving down into the lumbar, which is the lower spine, and then into your hips and thighs. It's also very good. You'll feel maybe a little bit of a stretch in the shoulders and the chest area as well, because remember, we want to keep the shoulders in contact with our mat or the floor. All right, the next time your knees come up through center, go ahead and hold the knees there. And then we're going to extend the right leg down towards the mat. And now we're going to work the back of our leg just a little bit. So we're going to bring the leg up, but I want that leg nice and relaxed. And only come up as far as when you start to feel a nice stretch in the back of the leg. So we don't want to force anything. We're not being aggressive here. Just want to feel a nice stretch. Keep the leg and the foot relaxed, so we're not flexing or pointing the foot. Just keep the foot relaxed. And then bring the leg back down to the mat. Relax the leg. And we're going to do this a few times. Again, you can go with your own speed here. So maybe inhale as you come up and exhale as you come down. And just go nice and slow. Again, as you come up, you're just feeling a little bit of a stretch in the back of the leg. And just do that a few times on this side. And then the next time your leg comes up towards the ceiling, Again, you want to feel a little bit of a stretch, but don't overdo it. Point and flex the foot. You'll feel a nice stretch as you flex or press the heel out away from you. And you're flexing the foot, the toes come towards the knee. And when you point, of course, the toes are coming up towards the ceiling. So you want to feel a nice stretch, especially probably in the calf. You're also working the ankles here. And then bring that leg down. All right, now we're going to do that same thing on the left side. So start out by extending the left leg out and relaxing the leg. The foot is relaxed as well, so you're not flexing or pointing the foot. And then start to bring that leg up. And only come up until you start to feel that nice stretch in the back of the leg. Don't overdo it. And then back down. Again, if you want to use your breath here, inhaling, coming up, exhaling, coming down. Just go at your own pace. Nice stretch as you come up. And do that a few more times. And then the next time the leg comes up again, keep the leg relaxed. And then go ahead and press the heel out away from you. Bring the toes down towards the knee and flex and then point, flex and point. And then press the heel out away from you and flex the foot. All right, and then release that. We're going to do one more exercise for our ankles. So go ahead, we'll start with the right foot. Bring it across to your left leg. And then do some ankle circles here. And move in one direction. Remember when we do our ankle circles, think of making big circles with your toes. And don't go fast, go slow so that you can get a nice full range of motion here. And then whichever way you were going, now go the opposite way. Making a big circle with your toes. All right, and then bring that leg down, and then we'll bring the left leg across the right, and then we'll do our ankle circles on that side. So again, nice full range of motion here. And then go in the opposite direction. All right, and now bring both feet back to the mat so your knees are bent. One more time, do a few windshield wipers and use your breath. So as you exhale, bring the knees down to one side and take one full breath in and out here. And then the next time you inhale, you're coming up through center. As you exhale, move down to the other side. And then one full breath on that side. And do that for, we'll do that for about 30 seconds or so, about a half a minute. All right, now bring the knees so both of them are bent up through center. Now, that towel or that block that you used or that blanket, go ahead if you need to sit up to do this. Go ahead and roll that so that you've got about, I don't know, 4 inches or so. You're going to bring that to the lower back here, and then you're going to come down. Now keep your feet on the mat first. So you want to, it's not going to be in the middle of the, in that little crease that's in the spine. I want you to bring that so that you're almost like sitting on it. It's, you know where your sacrum is, it's the real lower part of the back. So you can actually probably bring your hand and have it in here, unless you bring the back down. But, so again, you're not having it here where the belly is sticking out. You're bringing it down so that it's right on that lower sacrum area of the spine. And then your knees are bent right now, arms are at your sides, or if you want, you can bring your arms up overhead. That's in your practice and available. Now, what we're going to do, this is a supported bridge. What you're going to do is first, let's start with the left leg. You're going to bring that down to the mat. We're just going to hold this for about 20 seconds or so. Now, if there's any pain when you do this, then I want you to bring the foot back to the mat. But if there's no pain when you do this, then extend that left leg out. We'll go a few more seconds here. Relax the body. This is a mild stretch in your hip flexor. And then go ahead and bring that left foot to the mat, and then extend the right leg down. We're going to go about 20 seconds on this side. You'll feel a nice little stretch in that hip flexor, right at the hip bone area. Okay, now bring that right foot to the mat. Now, if neither side hurt when you did that, now see if you can bring both legs down. And again, you're going to feel a nice stretch, right, where that hip bone is, your hip flexor area. We sit a lot during the day, and so what this does is it helps to stretch that out. Now, if you're feeling any lower back pain, it's not for you. You're going to have to bring one foot or both feet to the mat. So you decide here if this is for you or not. If you're feeling any pain, especially in the lower back, you don't want to be doing this. We're going to hold this for another, let's go another 10 seconds. All right, and then bring both feet to the mat, knees are bent, and lift the hips, take that out from underneath you, whatever you had in there. And then again, go ahead and do a few windshield wipers, so we're bringing the knees down to one side, take one full breath in and out. And then come up through center on an inhalation, exhale, come down to the other side, and then one full breath. Do a few more rounds of that. And the next time you inhale and come up through center, bring the knees up through center. And then go ahead and bring the legs down. We're going to go into our Shavasana. I'm going to do a short little relaxation exercise here. But go ahead and again, just like what we started our practice today, bring something and put it on your belly here. And your hands can be on your belly or they can be out to the sides or up overhead. Try to really Open up those hips a little bit and point the toes out away from you. And then close down your eyes. Take a nice deep full breath in through the nose. And then open the mouth, and I want you to exhale. And allow yourself to sink down into your mat. Let go completely. We're going to do that again. Nice deep full breath in. Exhale with a sigh. Relax even more. Notice your body. If there's any areas that still feel tense or tight, see if you can find a way to move and release that, and then allow yourself to come into a relaxed way of being. And I'm going to take you through a little guided meditation here. So we're going to start with your toes. And relax your toes, your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, the thighs, the hips, the lower back. Stay focused on your lower back. Take a nice deep full breath in. Feel that expansion. And as you exhale, release any tension. And then start to release any tension in the middle back, upper back. Relax your shoulders. Move down the arms into the wrists, the hands and the fingers. And then bring your attention to your neck. You need to move your neck a little bit here to relax and release any tension. Do so. Take a breath in. Exhale. And then relax your head. Relax your face. Notice your forehead. Can you iron out any frown or anything that's maybe holding in the forehead area? Relax the eyes, the brows, your cheeks. Think of allowing your eyes to drop down into their eye sockets. Relax your jaw, the mouth, even your throat is relaxed. So your whole body is relaxed. And now I want you to move your attention back to your belly. Notice your belly moving as you breathe in and out. And again, each time you breathe in, maybe say to yourself, I am breathing in, or say the word in. And each time you exhale, you could say, I am exhaling, or I am breathing out, or just the word out. And again, try not to control the breath. Simply allow your body to breathe naturally. Relax completely. Begin to quiet your mind, quieting the body. We'll be in our Shavasana for another couple of minutes. Remember, if thoughts start moving around, you become aware of the mind wandering, just go back to your breath. Give yourself this time to relax completely. No holding. Allow gravity to do the work for you. Now keeping your eyes closed. Don't move, just stay nice and relaxed. And bring your attention to your belly. And again, each time you breathe in, become aware, what is your belly doing? Is it coming out or is it going in when you breathe in? Just notice that. Again, try not to control the breath. And then notice the exhalation. Become aware of what's going on with your belly each time you exhale. Is it moving back towards the spine on the exhalation, or is your stomach moving up towards the ceiling? And notice, was it the same or different from the beginning of your practice? And now we're going to do that same exercise we did before. You're going to count your breaths. So make sure you exhale completely and then go. So every time you breathe in, you're counting up from 1. And again, try not to control the breath at all. Just allow your body to breathe naturally. It's organic breath. It's like if you're sleeping. Keep counting. Don't forget to count. All right, go ahead and stop. And then compare your number from the beginning of your practice to the number at the end of your practice. Was it the same? Was it different? If it was different, was it more breaths or was it less breaths? So just something to notice. I'm going to talk a little bit about the breath. If you want to just wiggle your toes a little bit here, come out of that. We didn't really come out of our Shavasana here. So let's go ahead and take a minute or so to come out of that. So wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Whatever you had on your belly, you can take that off. And then eventually move yourself over to your right side. And once you're on your right side too, thank yourself for coming into your practice today, meeting me on the mat. Doing something for you, maybe learning a little bit more of what your breath is doing, becoming more aware of your breath in our practice today. And then eventually you can move yourself up into a seated position. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the breath. You can stay on your mat if you want, or if you want to sit up in a chair, if that feels more comfortable for you. You might, I'm going to ask after I talk a little bit if you've got any questions. So if you're on a computer or an iPad or whatever you're using, whatever device, and you want to either talk, if you've got audio, you can talk once I open it up for questions, or you can use your chat box. So don't be afraid to do that. I'm going to come up and go to my computer so that I can teach a little bit from here. So let's see here. All right. So, okay. So I've been doing some reading about breath work, and so that's why our theme today was all about the breath. And I did a class earlier today, and one of the students had brought up, there's a really good book that came out just a little while ago, and I'll type this in the in the chat box here. James Nestor is the author, and the name of the book is really easy to remember. It's called Breath. I think it's Breath. I don't think it's Breathe. I think it's Breath. And I personally have not read this book, but one of the students in my other class is starting to read it, and she says it's really, really super good. I've also heard from the yoga community. There's been many teachers that have been mentioning it, and they say it's just an incredible book. So if you're into breath, or maybe if you're not into breath, but you want to learn a little bit more about the breath, it's apparently a really, really good book. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, so we did this exercise in the beginning of class and then at the end of the class of becoming aware of what the belly was doing. Was it rising on the inhalation, or was it falling on the inhalation? And then vice versa. When you exhaled, was the stomach coming in towards the spine, or was it coming out towards the ceiling? So there's two different ways that people breathe. And what happens is that when we're babies, if you've ever seen a baby breathe, they all breathe the same way. They always breathe on an inhalation, their belly is moving out. And when they exhale, their belly is moving back in. So I'm actually going to type that in the chat box here. So on the inhalation, the belly comes out. And then on the exhalation, the belly moves in towards the spine. Okay? So that's our natural way of breathing. But what happens in life is that throughout the years we have more stress, more anxiety, more things and situations and thinking that happens to us that we feel like we can't breathe that way anymore. And I'll give you probably the best example that I can think of is, let's say you were standing and you were about to go across the street, and all of a sudden you look out to your side and there's a car coming right towards you. What are you going to do with your breath? More than likely you're going to go like that. And when you do that, what did I do? I was breathing up here in my chest, what is called chest breathing. It's also sometimes called reverse breathing. And through our life, the more stress, the more anxiety, the more fear, worry that comes up, the more we start breathing up here in our upper chest. And what starts to happen in that is that we're not using our diaphragm. Our diaphragm looks like this. When we breathe in, the lungs expand, and it should expand so much that it actually presses the diaphragm down. And when this diaphragm comes down, the stomach comes out. And then when we exhale, of course, the air is leaving our lungs, and so that diaphragm starts moving back up, and then the belly should start moving back towards the spine. It's not a lot. So, I mean, it's not like you're, doing this sort of thing. It's just a natural, and it's just a really slight little bit of belly moving in and out. Probably depends on your constitution a little bit as well. But so what happens though in life is, because we have so much of this anxiety and fear that comes up, and of course all of us do things differently and have different experiences throughout our life, but a lot of us, what starts to happen is we start breathing in this upper chest area. So if when we did this exercise you were doing what we call reverse breathing or upper chest, where you are doing just the opposite. When you inhale, your belly was coming in, and when you exhale, the belly was coming out, then what I would encourage you to start doing is actually lying on the floor or lying in your bed, and maybe put an item or your hand on your belly and actually force or control, so that as you inhale, think of the belly coming out, and as you exhale, the belly coming in. And maybe even do a counting. So as you inhale, maybe count to 3. Inhale as you bring the belly out. and then count to 3 as you exhale and slowly move the belly back towards the spine. And start practicing that. I'm going to send you actually a document that I put together, and it's a document that has 2 sides to it. On one side, it's called whole body breathing. And whole body breathing is basically when an individual is activating their diaphragm, and when they inhale, the stomach comes out away from the spine, and when they exhale, the stomach moves back in towards the spine. Whereas the other side of this chart is going to have upper chest or reverse breathing, which is just the opposite. Again, when you breathe in, the stomach is going in, and when you exhale, the stomach is going out. So you're not activating usually the diaphragm. So here I want to just take a few minutes to tell you the differences. So whole body breathing means that you're breathing slowly, rhythmically, and it has a lot of benefits. So here's some of the benefits. It enhances the upper respiratory sinus arrhythmia. Now, I have not studied the upper respiratory sinus arrhythmia. I don't know what that is, so that's one thing that I want to actually research. It's called RSA for short. It also enhances the heart rate variable. Again, I'm not really sure what that means, but I want to guess that it's a good thing. It's also called HRV. It increases emotional stability and resistance. It increases calmness and relaxation. It increases confidence. It increases physical and intellectual activity. Yes, your breath does that. It increases the sense of control. It decreases the perception of stress, and it decreases anxiety and fear. So that is the whole body breathing, where when you breathe in, the stomach comes out, and when you breathe out, the stomach goes in. Compare that to upper chest breathing. Upper chest breathing is usually shallow and irregular. It reduces the upper respiratory sinus arrhythmia. It reduces the heart rate variable. It's an indicator of health risks. Now, I don't know what those are. What I read did not include what health risks were there. I want to assume it probably has something to do with at least your lungs, probably some other factors as well. It decreases emotional stability and resilience of psychological effects. It increases excitation and, get this, shyness, which I thought was interesting. It decreases physical and intellectual activities. It decreases the sense of control. It increases the perceived amount of stress that we have in our body. And it also increases the anxiety and fear. So again, if you were doing upper chest breathing, I really, really strongly recommend that you start practicing the whole body breath or engaging the diaphragm. And again, as you inhale, the stomach is coming out, and when you exhale, the stomach goes back towards the spine. All right? So the other thing that we did is we had this little exercise where I had you count how many breaths. Now, it was 1 full minute both times. So depending on your numbers, they may have stayed the same. If you were in a relaxation, state of relaxation in the beginning of our practice, then probably more than likely your numbers were probably pretty much the same. What may have happened is your second number at the end of practice may have been a smaller number. For instance, in the beginning of your practice, you may have had maybe 10 breaths per minute. And at the end of the practice, maybe you had 7 breaths because you were more relaxed. When you're in a more relaxed state, the slower and more rhythmic your breath is going to be. So with that, any questions, any comments? Does anybody want to share anything? And David is saying, he was at 5 earlier today, and he's in one of my other classes. He's in a Qigong class with me, and we did a similar exercise. So he was at 5 earlier today, and again when we started. But when he finished our restorative, he said that he was at 4. So that's like really good, David. You're like better than me. I have usually about 5 or 6. So that's awesome. You're like really relaxed. That's great. Anybody else have any comments or want to share their numbers? Their breathing numbers. No? It's okay. You don't have to share. All right. Any other questions? I am going to send this little chart. I'll send it to everybody at the end of this class. So you'll get another email. You're lucky you get 2 emails from me today. Carol's typing. She says thanks. You're welcome. All right. And Sue is typing as well. So Sue, Rich, David, Carol, and then we have Ray, Rosanna, Shelley that do the classes. So, so David says he was sharing, not competing. Good to know. All right. Sue's typing something here. Okay. All right, Sue. Sue says I read her mind today, so I don't know what that means, but okay. All right. So have a nice week. I will see you all on Friday morning, and stay safe, stay well. Namaste. We didn't do our namaste today, so no namaste. I honor the light in you.